Now that is how you play a game going into the All-Star break. Oh man, this one was sweet. This one was extra sweet. But Bruins fans, it is not knocking out! Because that is a 5-2 victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs in the last game before the All-Star break. Welcome back to Into the Den, everybody. You know, I think going into this game, we were all a little bit concerned. You know, we just had a 3-game losing streak against a team that it's won 2 of the last 3 Stanley Cups. A team that won the President's Trophy last season, but is now in the midst of of what the hell are we doing, and the 3rd best team in the NHL right now. So we were on a 3-game losing streak, and we needed something, just anything, to hold on to. And I gotta admit, going into a game against the 2nd best team in hockey, I was a little bit concerned. Yes, the Leafs lost. Yes, the Leafs are going to be without Matthews for the next 3 weeks. But I still think that Marner, Tavares, Nylander is a deadly as hell line. But before the game, I mean a lot before the game. Like this happened like a few days ago. The Unikopinen and Mark McLaughlin in experiments, they were done. They were decent when we had them. Kopinen, I believe, has had one of the best showings of any player that we've had to call up this season. But you know, it's good. But you know, even if they ultimately didn't do an insane amount, they still did, and they still at least showed what they're capable of. Hot take: we're fine without Nosek. We're fine without Nosek because I truly believe that Kopinen can replace him as the 4th line defensive forward. But who gets caught up into their place is Jacob Lauko and Vinny Lettieri. Lauko got called up earlier this season, and he's already scored his first NHL goal. Well, I'm proud of him for that. Lettieri, though, he has not seen any NHL ice time this season, and he's been really good down in Prov. So we bring him up in the first practice. Within the first hour and a half, he's hobbling off the ice. Well, that sucks. But what doesn't suck? Jake DeBrusk is back at practice. He's in a no-contact jersey, but it's fine. And as one last little treat before the game, just to hype everybody up, Brad Marchand. Oh man, Brad Marchand just goes on an absolute tear on Twitter. Now it's Brad Marchand. We all expect him to be a little bit of a pest, but on Twitter, the best. And everybody was a little bit concerned. There were people that were a little bit concerned because he was talking a lot of trash on Twitter beforehand, and we're coming off of a 3-game losing streak. But the context of this is someone is a reporter is talking about how during the Anaheim Ducks and Arizona Coyotes game of what is it? Trevor Zegras apparently chirps Troy Stecher in a way that makes Troy Stecher react very, very wants to beat him up, and a lot of speculation was that Zegras actually said something about Stetcher's dead dad, which is not good at all. And what is it? What is it? When Jacob Stoller asked Brad Marchand what he meant when he told Craig Moran, who Craig Morgan, who is talking about how Zegras didn't actually say anything to Stetcher's father, about Stetcher's father. Brad tweets. Brad kind of goes off on him, and Steve Dangle ends up in the mix. Now look, I like Steve Dangle. This is the worst I have ever seen this man get ratioed. 604 likes to 11,000 likes for and just I love you, Steve. Stop tweeting. Stop tweeting. Anyway, the first period goes and it's very, very even. I would honestly argue that this game was a lot more even. Was a lot closer than the game when the score. It was a lot closer than the score would actually say. Like the Bruins and the Leafs seem to go really tit for tat. Freaking Bunting is trying way too hard to draw penalties. Dude thinks he's Marchand. He's not. He's just not. He's not. Instead, what he does is he draws a holding penalty on it himself, and it was at this point that I found out that the Bruins over this road trip have fallen to 6th in the league in power play percentage, and they don't get one tonight. Here's the thing. I was frustrated when the entire team went 0 for 39 last season. I'm frustrated now. I know that we are winning, and I know that we're and honestly, I would rather us be winning without power play goals than winning with power play goals, because what that shows to me is that this team can play strong on a 5-on-5. But I would also rather they score on power plays, because when the other guy is down a player, you probably should score. Anyway, the first period ends and the shots are 14-13 for Toronto. And so Toronto ends up leading pretty much the entire way in shots to the game. And it's just more evidence that the shot counter really doesn't mean much. Now in the second period, I start to think, great, the Bruins are running out of gas a little bit. Again, guys, please don't do this. And it really doesn't help when Clifton ends up going for tripping. Now, yes, David Kemp was already falling while this was happening. Still doesn't mean that only. And yes, that is a bad call. It's still a call. And here's the thing: the refs sucked on both sides. The refs sucked on both sides tonight. There's no denying it. The refs have been pretty bad this entire road stretch, and it was pretty much clear that whoever lost was going to be mad at the refs. But we are the top penalty kill unit in the league versus the 7th best power play unit in the league. And what happens? Oh, you gotta do it for Darla. Toronto ends up playing a reverse Boston, and by that I mean they play way too deep in their own zone, leaving Derek Forbort just wide ass open right up the middle, and just has daylight ahead of him, and he rips it past Ilya Samsonov at a speed less than the speed limit. It was going 62 miles an hour. Samsonov, I'm honestly just a little bit surprised that Samsonov didn't save that, but it doesn't matter, because not only is that the first goal of the game, that is a shorthanded goal, and Derek Forbort's second shorthanded goal of the season. God, I love this man, and God, I love his dog. If you have never seen Darla Forbort, you are missing out. Now, immediately after the Bruins kill the rest of Clifton's penalty, we go immediately back on the penalty kill because Grzelcyk ends up going for elbowing, I think, on Michael Bunting. look, I know Bunting's kind of a scumbag. You still don't elbow him. And Mitch Marner, hey, remember him? Yeah. Remember how I said he was good? Well, he does something that's pretty good. He just completely outweights Brandon Carlo on a beautiful toe drag. I don't even blame Carlo for this. I know Carlo's having a pretty weird stretch, and I've probably been a little bit too hard on him. But even if Brandon Carlo was cosplaying as Bobby frickin' Orr, I don't see how anyone saves that. That was a fantastic shot by Marner. But it doesn't matter, because a little bit later, Carlo finally proves why he's a good defenseman by making a good offensive play. Carlo finally with another goal. Lindholm from the top of the circle, from like the top of the slot, passes to Carlo, who's like almost at he's almost parallel to the red line, and he just rips it on the top angle, on the top corner against Ilya Samsonov. Ilya Samsonov honestly did not have a good game tonight. Like, this goal and the forward goal, he easily could have saved, and honestly, he probably should have saved. Again, this game was a lot closer than the score implies, but still, this was good. This was really good for morale, not just for the team, but also for the fans. Like, honestly, for a player that we've been really not sure whether he's good or not, it is really nice to see that he technically had the best game of tonight. Honestly, I'm willing to grant him it. He's not only has he had a rough patch, that this genuinely was a really good game from him. And Ullmark, oh my God, Linus Ullmark, how do you not put this man in at the top of the Vezina candidacy right now? Like earlier in the first period, he makes an amazing kick save on a Rasmus Sandin, Pierre Engvall. 2-on-0. How do you not score on a 2-on-0? I know that that's the title of a Dang It's video from last season. By the way, Steve, that ratio is 100% a dang it. But I know it's Ullmark, but how do you not score on a 2-on-0? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Third period starts, and AJ Greer with that dog in him. He drives into the offensive zone. He is getting pretty clearly hooked by David Kampf. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that this didn't get called afterwards. But he's getting hooked by Kampf. So much so that Kampf actually ends up dropping his stick. But it doesn't matter, because Greer just rips it on the far top corner against Samsonov. I don't understand how why the Leafs didn't pull Samsonov and put in like Matt Murray, Joseph Woll. You called up Joseph Woll, put him in or something. But still, AJ Greer adding to the pile with a pretty good feed from Jacob Lauka. It's weird. The best player on the Bruins to score tonight was Pavel Zacha. He was the best forward that the Bruins had to score tonight, which honestly is a good thing. It's a good thing that he is the best one, because what that means is we can put up 5 goals on a team, on one of the best teams in the league with based entirely off of our depth. Which, honestly, it feels so good to say that, because in past years, we could barely get off the ground if Bergie, Pasta, and Marshy took a rest on the bench for a bit. But AJ Greer ends up scoring, and immediately after, like center ice face off, dropped the puck immediately. Wayne Simmons and AJ Greer dropped the gloves, and I love you, AJ. That kind of sucked. And honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed that there wasn't a Gordie Howe Hattie tonight. Anyway, Michael Bunting. Oh my God, Michael Bunting is trying way too hard to draw a penalty at some points, and tonight really emphasized that. But it doesn't matter what he's doing, because what happens is the Bruins defense kind of breaks down just a little bit. Not really what you want to have happen, and they just allow Calle Jarnkrok right up the middle to score. And you could maybe put that on in Ullmark, as that's a save that you gotta have. But you gotta also put that on the defense of, like, what the hell why the hell is Jarnkrok this wide open? But just a little bit later, we see magic. Absolute magic. Zacha with beautiful puck possession and takes it behind the net. Everybody's trying to get it. They pass a bit. McAvoy passes it up the middle to Zacha, and you ever wonder? You ever look at someone and wonder what exactly is going on in their head? Because I think that TJ Brody is wondering, what's my backup plan? What's my backup plan in for this? My man slid so hard, I'm surprised he didn't get rug burn. I think I forgot to mention that this was on a 4-on-4 after the Jarnkrok penalty, when Michael Bunting and Charlie Coyle decided to get into it. And by the way, Gary Bettman, I hate you for saying that the video boards aren't a problem, because oh my God, look at that back. Look at the horrible artifacting on the video boards clipping in and out. It is disgusting. It is awful. I hate it. But yeah, after that, this is 30 seconds in. Zacha snipes from the middle of the slot to put the Bruins up 4-2. The rest of the penalties end up dying, and Zacha on a set just a little bit later, Pasta from behind the net feeds David Krejci, and then, my God, you left Zacha wide open. My God, the Devils are such tools. They gave this man to us for Eric Holla. How's that one treating you, Brat Pack? Zacha has the puck, and Samsonov is so out of position. He's going up the middle, leaving pretty much the entire goal open to Zacha, who's coming at it from an angle. Bruins are up 5-2. Went into the Ford F-150 final 5. Nothing really happens, and that's it for the first chunk of the season. Now, what is my content going to be for the during this All-Star break? I'm not going to make content on the All-Star game. I don't really watch the All-Star game. It's not really too interesting to me. However, I will be making a breakdown of the Bruins season in the first half, including a player tier list, and also I will be discussing the Ivan Provorov situation and the New York Rangers Pride Night situation. as someone who is queer myself, I think that I should probably throw my hat into the ring on that. Might be late. I don't care. But either way, Bruins go into this break at 39-7-5. And they did that partially without Brad Marchand, partially without Charlie McAvoy, partially without Mac Reslick, and now the entirety of January without Jake DeBrusk. And we're getting him back at the end of the break. Anyway, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Yeah, I know it sucks. I spent like 10 minutes on it in GIMP.